Theme and subject matter. Engage your audience with title or theme and subject matter. Something as simple as a title can attract the listener or captivate them to want to listen to you with little expectations but lots of engagement. For some people, it can be the other way around, usually in the celebrity world where people engage due to who may be featured on an episode. But in this world for beginners who may not have that access, it's important to attract visibility with title and subject matter. Introducing your guests is usually the easiest part and the quickest part because people can't wait to hear the actual conversation. Keep it brief and sweet. The easiest part of introducing your guests is actually introducing yourself. Having a tagline such as mine, Don J did it, don't you forget it, is also a good way to start the conversation or to open up the platform to segue into the conversation that you're about to have. Breaking up your episodes and the art of storytelling. This step is the one that keeps on bringing people back. You may have recorded an episode that's 2 hours, but you could use this time to break it up into 4 half-hour episodes that can bring subscribers, viewers, and people who are curious about who you are and what these conversations consist of. Similar to being a latecomer to catching up to a popular web series, this is the effect of people revisiting what they may have missed in the past or tuning in a non-chronological order of the way the episodes were recorded or intended to be watched. All of this traction is due to the title choice or the amount of content that you have. If it seems like a chronological story or conversation due to the titles, this will force people to tune in the chronological order, episode 1 into 4 as the way you recorded it or intended it to be viewed, in order to understand the conversation in full depth as intended to be distributed. If all else fails, and I'm pretty sure it's not, we're just learning and something has to strike, you can use this guideline right here as a storytelling guideline to name and guide the conversations of your episodes, similar to when you watch films. So, explosion, rise in action, climax, fall in action, resolution. This will be a common weave throughout each episode and also ultimately align with the title of your overall show. If you have those points in mind because you're kind of conscious of how the conversation is going and your time constraint, at least you could kind of steer the episode a certain way just by having those points or those bulletin points available for you to look at. How to record the layers of sound. For beginners who may be using phone, tablet, or even computer, it is best to be in a consolidated area where acoustics aren't as bouncy as singing in the shower or bathroom. Spaces like that usually result in a drowned out, bouncy, or echoey sound. You want to be in an area as big as a small coffee shop or school cafe or classroom minus all of the talking people. If you are recording amongst yourself, having the device as close to your vocal cords as possible is ideal. Close to your vocal cords as possible, but without your lips touching it, which will probably cause static or not touching or brushing up against your clothing or jewelry. If you're in conversation with a guest, it's best to make sure the device is distributed equally between both of you or all of you to ensure even distribution with the sound of the vocals versus the sound of the ambiance. Ambiance varies in different situations. In the hallway, ambiance could consist of chatter, people walking by, items dropping, or yelling. Ambiance on the school field could consist of the train going by or rattling of the leaves in the fall time. Chatter outside can travel differently versus being distributed through a hallway or a classroom. The better you record the audio in this stage, the less you have to edit. In some cases, a lot of podcasts go straight from conversation to upload. And in other cases, it's direct from conversation to editing platform, editing logistics, editing preference, and then upload it. Let's talk about editing. Editing can be a real tedious task. For instance, if I have background noise, there should be a toggle to duck the sound or a scale where you can see the decibels being raised or lowered. What you don't want to do is record your vocals while music is actually playing live on the set of your podcast. That would make everything one track. In the event that your audio sounds horrible or unbearable, refer to the audio enhancement section in the app of your preferred software that you're using to edit. In that section, there should be equalization, voice isolation, or noise removal that you can play with or hear the difference as you're changing your settings. If you're interested in closed captions, YouTube has a closed caption prompt where you're able to change the language to or from English, Spanish, and even French. Depending on your preference, there may be more languages available as well. If you would rather hear your audio in a different language, I'm pretty sure you can go to your favorite AI app, upload the audio, and then have it translated as close as possible. Editing the length of a conversation will probably be the most tedious thing to do when it comes to editing. Although podcasts initially started out to have a live, direct presentation of a conversation, we may want to edit the length if we feel like the conversation is too long or something is said during the conversation that we would rather not air. This requires taking notes of the timestamp live, so that way, once you upload it to the timeline, you know exactly what needs to be edited. Or if you're not taking notes live with the timestamps, once you upload the audio, you can potentially watch it from beginning to end and edit as you watch to your desired liking. This can be done on the timeline using the cutting tool or rearranging the sequence of the conversation. For instance, some people like to record the intro of their show and the outro of their show at the same time the conversation is over, because you kind of have energy and chemistry with the guests, so your delivery might be much more powerful. Freedom of speech is one thing, and the FCC over the airway, or what a channel chooses to play, is another. We are in a time and era where language can definitely be weaponized. The ethics of recording vocals, especially since the proof exists via the tool of recording, is simply asking somebody, do you agree to be vocally recorded? Plain and simple. If the person says yes, then it's a go. If you record yourself, and in the world of solo casting, there you go. You agreed to record yourself. You're solo casting. You gave yourself permission. You agreed, and proceed. Natural feel. Recording a phone conversation without the other person's knowledge in most situations is illegal. Here's another gray area where things may get difficult with legalities that exist when it comes to uploading. Using a soundtrack or bed or background music that is licensed or belonging to a certain label, maybe a record label or movie company or an artist, can get your material restricted in certain areas. In the meta world, if they hear background music that needs to be licensed, after 30 seconds or so after they realize that the music belongs to a company or artist or has limited legal use, you can Google free licensing music sites and music that's free for everybody to use, and multiple sites will pop up for you to get background music if you feel like background music can help curate the feel of your podcast. Accessibility to platforms. In the grand scheme of things, there are official and popular channels and platforms such as Apple or Spotify to upload your episodes to be accessible globally. But in the nature of being like a novelist or a student, cohesively sharing data, it's okay to be unique or unorthodox with your method of sharing. This could be you gaining your audience through Clubhouse, Instagram, or even Facebook as a platform to invite people to catch you live, call in, or even upload pre-recorded data for people to engage by commenting while hearing. You can even upload privately curated links through WeTransfer.com or PixieSet, or I'm sure we all heard of YouTube, just in hopes to collect email addresses used to market your audience when new episodes are released. Building confidence. Me, I hate hearing my voice. I'm usually behind the camera, but in this day and age, for educational reach, or for the purpose of building your brand, being confident on camera or on air is a must. The more you record, the better your confidence. Do it scared is the best advice that was given to me.